First contact, final warning. Commander Maya Chen stood on the observation deck of the Orbital Defense Platform Sentinel, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing Earth's solar system. After 15 years of service in the Earth Defense Coalition, she had never expected to be the one to make first contact with an alien civilization. Yet here she was, watching as 7 unknown vessels decelerated at the edge of Neptune's orbit. Status report, she demanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Lieutenant Ramirez swiped through several data screens before responding. The vessels maintain formation. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database. They're efficient. Our sensors barely detected them until they chose to decelerate. Maya nodded. And our response? The Security Council has authorized deployment of the defense fleet. 20 ships are moving to intercept, maintaining a defensive posture. First Minister Zhao requests your presence at the emergency session. The journey to Earth took less than 30 minutes in the hypersonic shuttle. Maya spent the time reviewing what little data they had on the visitors. Their technology was clearly advanced. The energy output of even their smallest ship dwarfed anything humanity had developed. Yet they had made no aggressive moves. They had simply appeared, slowed, and waited. The Security Council chamber buzzed with tension when Maya arrived. Representatives from all 12 Earth nations sat around the circular table, faces grim with the weight of what was likely the most significant meeting in human history. First Minister Zhao nodded to Maya as she entered. Commander Chen, thank you for joining us. Please provide your assessment of our visitors. Maya activated the central display, showing the alien vessels. 7 ships of varying configurations, all exhibiting technology significantly beyond our current capabilities. They've made no attempt to hide their presence or evade our detection. In fact, I believe they want us to know they're here. A show of force, muttered the Russian representative. Perhaps, Maya conceded, but there's something else. The configuration of their fleet suggests this isn't their main armada. These are scout ships, maybe diplomatic vessels. If they wanted to attack, they would have brought more firepower. So what do they want? Asked Minister Zhao. The answer came sooner than expected. Every screen in the chamber suddenly displayed the same image. A tall, humanoid figure with iridescent blue skin, 4 amber eyes, and an exoskeleton-like structure covering parts of its body. People of Earth, the alien spoke in perfect English, its voice resonant and oddly musical. I am Sovereign Commander Vexilor of the Vrax Dominion. Your world has drawn our attention. The chamber fell silent. Nobody had expected direct communication, or that they would speak our language. We have studied your broadcasts, your languages, your conflicts. Your species shows potential, yet remains divided and primitive. The Dominion offers you a choice. Surrender your autonomy and accept your place as a protectorate species, or face eradication. You have 1 planetary rotation to decide. The transmission ended as abruptly as it had begun, leaving the chamber in stunned silence. Well, Minister Zhao said after a moment, it seems the question of what they want has been answered. Maya's mind raced. This is a standard tactic, intimidation through technological superiority. But something doesn't add up. If they've studied us, they know we won't surrender our planet without a fight. They've shown 7 ships, which is impressive but hardly enough to conquer an entire world. Unless those 7 ships carry weapons that could devastate our planet from orbit, the American representative pointed out. Even so, Maya argued, why give us time to prepare? Why not simply attack? The German representative leaned forward. Perhaps they wish to preserve our infrastructure, conquest without destruction. Or, Maya said slowly, they're testing us, gauging our reaction. Minister Zhao nodded thoughtfully. Commander Chen, what options do we have? Maya took a deep breath. I recommend we activate Project Aegis. A murmur spread through the chamber. Project Aegis had been Earth's most closely guarded secret for the past decade. a collaborative defensive system that utilized quantum entanglement technology in ways that had seemed theoretical until recently. Project Aegis isn't fully tested. The Chinese representative objected. It's our best option, Maya insisted. Conventional weapons won't be effective against their technology. Aegis at least gives us a fighting chance. After hours of debate, the Security Council voted unanimously to activate Project Aegis and to send a response to the Vrax Dominion, one that neither accepted their terms nor explicitly rejected them. The diplomatic delay tactic, buying precious hours for the defense systems to come online. Maya spent those hours in the command center beneath Geneva, coordinating with scientists and military leaders around the world. Project Aegis had been designed with exactly this scenario in mind, but theory and practice were very different things. Quantum field generators at 87% capacity, reported Dr. Ishikawa, the project's lead scientist. The entanglement network is stable across all nodes. Maya studied the global map showing the 32 Aegis nodes positioned strategically around the planet. What's our coverage? Near total. There's a small gap in the South Pacific, but we're rerouting power to compensate. Time to full operational capacity. Dr. Ishikawa checked her calculations. 4 hours, maybe 5. Maya grimaced. The Vrax deadline is in 3. As if summoned by her words, the communication system chimed with an incoming transmission. The four-eyed face of Sovereign Commander Vexillar appeared once more. Your silence is noted, humans. We expected defiance. It is the nature of species who have not yet learned their place in the cosmic hierarchy. Our main fleet approaches. When they arrive, you will understand the futility of resistance. The display shifted to show a massive armada of ships emerging from what appeared to be a fold in space itself. Hundreds of vessels, each dwarfing the scout ships they had seen earlier. To demonstrate our resolve, Vexillar continued. Observe. One of the scout ships fired a beam of intense energy at Earth's moon. A crater appeared where the beam struck, nearly 50 kilometers in diameter, visible even from Earth with the naked eye. That was at minimal power, Vexillar said. You have 1 hour to transmit your surrender. After the transmission ended, the command center erupted in panicked discussion. Maya silenced them with a raised hand. Accelerate the Aegis activation sequence, she ordered. Divert all power necessary, and move our fleet into defensive formation. Commander, Dr. Ishikawa protested. Rushing the activation could destabilize the entire network. If we don't activate it now, there won't be an Earth to defend, Maya replied. Do it. The next 50 minutes were the most tense of Maya's life. Around the world, power grids strained as energy was diverted to the Aegis system. The quantum field generators hummed to life one by one, creating an invisible shield of altered space-time around the planet. Aegis network online, Dr. Ishikawa announced, her voice betraying her surprise. Field integrity at 94% and holding. Maya nodded. Now we wait. They didn't wait long. The Vrax fleet entered Earth orbit precisely 1 hour after their ultimatum, a swarm of warships positioning themselves strategically around the planet. No response from the humans, Vexillar observed from the command center of his flagship. Predictable. Begin the pacification sequence. Across the Vrax fleet, weapons charged with a pulsing violet light. On Earth, military leaders watched with bated breath as energy readings spiked to unprecedented levels. Aegis status, Maya demanded. Field holding steady, Dr. Ishikawa confirmed. Quantum entanglement network responding as designed. All defense platforms, hold fire until my command, Maya ordered. Let them make the first move. That move came moments later as the Vrax fleet unleashed a devastating barrage of energy weapons toward Earth's surface. The beams streaked toward major cities, military installations, and power centers. A coordinated first strike designed to cripple any resistance. None of them reached their targets. As the energy weapons entered the quantum field surrounding Earth, something extraordinary happened. The beams didn't impact a shield or bounce off a barrier. Instead, they simply vanished. In the silence that followed, Maya allowed herself a small smile. Activate Phase 2. Around the planet, the Aegis nodes pulsed with renewed energy. The quantum field expanded, reaching out toward the Vrax fleet. Not as a weapon, but as a vast network of space-time manipulation. On the Vrax flagship, alarms blared as systems began to fail. Weapons wouldn't charge. Engines wouldn't respond. Communications fell silent. One by one, the mighty warships of the Vrax Dominion found themselves drifting, powerless. "What is happening?" Vexillar demanded, his 4 eyes wide with disbelief. His science officer worked frantically at a console that was rapidly losing power. "They've created some kind of quantum dampening field. It's disrupting our energy systems at the subatomic level. This shouldn't be possible for a species at their technological stage." For the first time in his long career of conquest, Sovereign Commander Vexillar felt fear. He had underestimated these humans, a mistake he might not live to regret. In Geneva, Maya watched as the Earth Defense Fleet moved into position around the disabled Vrax ships. "Open a channel to the Vrax flagship," she ordered. The face that appeared on the screen was no longer composed and superior. Vexillar looked shocked, his iridescent skin pale with stress. "Sovereign Commander," Maya addressed him calmly. "This is Commander Maya Chen of the Earth Defense Coalition. I believe it's time we discussed different terms." Guardians of the Stars. The Vrax fleet hung motionless in Earth orbit, trapped in the quantum dampening field generated by Project Aegis. On the main view screen of the Geneva Command Center, Sovereign Commander Vexillar's expression had shifted from shocked to calculating assessment. "You have surprised us, humans," he admitted, his musical voice now flat and cold. "A miscalculation we have not experienced in 700 years of expansion." "We tend to be full of surprises," Maya replied, "especially when threatened." Around her, the command center hummed with activity as analysts assessed the disabled alien vessels and military personnel coordinated the Earth Defense Fleet's positions. The fact that humanity had neutralized the Vrax threat without firing a single shot was nothing short of miraculous. "What happens now?" Vexillar asked. "Will you destroy our helpless vessels? That would be the logical choice." Maya shook her head. "That's not how we do things. We're sending boarding parties to your ships, unarmed diplomats accompanied by security personnel. We intend to talk." For the first time, something like respect flickered in the alien's 4 eyes. "Curious. The Dominion would not show such mercy. Perhaps that's why you've never encountered a defense like ours," Maya suggested. "Species forced into desperation develop unexpected solutions." The boarding operation proceeded with remarkable efficiency. Earth's special forces, equipped with suits designed to operate in various atmospheric conditions, secured the Vrax command ships while scientific teams studied their technology. What they discovered sent ripples of excitement and concern through Earth's leadership. "The Vrax aren't the supreme power they portrayed themselves to be," Dr. Ishikawa explained during the emergency council session. "They're more like enforcers, representatives of something called the Stellar Hegemony, a coalition of 7 advanced species that controls most of this sector of the galaxy." Maya studied the data on her tablet. "So they're bullies doing someone else's dirty work." "Essentially," Dr. Ishikawa nodded. "They identify promising worlds, subjugate them with their superior technology, then bring them into the hegemony as servant species. They've done this hundreds of times." "But they've never failed before," Minister Zhao noted. "What does that mean for us?" The answer came sooner than expected. 3 days after the failed Vrax invasion, long-range sensors detected new anomalies forming beyond Mars' orbit. Unlike the Vrax ships, these vessels emerged with a shimmer of golden light, their designs organic and flowing rather than the harsh angles of Vrax technology. "First Minister, we have an incoming transmission," the communications officer announced. "It's not from the Vrax." The being that appeared on screen was unlike anything humans had seen before. Vaguely humanoid, It seemed to be composed of swirling energy contained within a translucent membrane, with patterns of light pulsing through its form like a circulatory system. "People of Earth," it spoke, its voice resonating with harmonic overtones. "I am Arbiter XL Foreign of the Stellar Council. Your resistance against the Vrax dominion has created interest." Maya and Minister Zhao exchanged glances. This was unexpected. "Arbiter," Zhao responded cautiously, "we are honored by your contact. The Vrax came to our world with threats of destruction. We defended ourselves as any sovereign species would." "Indeed," the energy being replied, "but few have the capability to do so against a Dominion Warfleet. For millennia, the Vrax have served as the military arm of the hegemony, bringing order through force. Yet your quantum manipulation technology neutralized them without destruction." The being paused. "This creates complications and opportunities. Over the next hours, Earth learned of the complex galactic political landscape. The stellar hegemony and the stellar council were rival powers, the former ruling through military might and technological suppression of lesser species, the latter advocating for cooperation and shared advancement. The two factions had existed in uneasy balance for thousands of years. "Then we need allies," Maya concluded. "Precisely why I have come," the Arbiter agreed. "The Council extends an invitation for Earth to send representatives. Your innovations could shift the balance that has trapped countless worlds in servitude." The Security Council debated through the night. Some argued for isolation, using the Aegis system purely for defense. Others saw the opportunity to establish humanity as a galactic power. By morning, they had reached consensus. Earth would engage with the wider galaxy, but from a position of strength. Maya found herself appointed as head of the first human delegation to the Stellar Council. Before departing, she paid a final visit to the holding facility where Vexillor was detained. "You're leaving to meet the Council," the Vrax commander stated. "Not a question, but an observation. You know about the invitation. News travels, even in confinement." Vexillor's 4 eyes regarded her steadily. "The hegemony will not accept this development. They will send others, species with different technologies, approaches your Aegis may not counter." "Is that a warning or a threat?" Maya asked. "An observation. You humans intrigue me. In 7 centuries of conquest, I have never encountered a species that defeated us without bloodshed." Maya studied the alien commander. "Would you have shown the same restraint?" "No," Vexillor admitted without hesitation, "which is why you have given me much to consider." The journey to the Stellar Council's sanctuary world took 3 weeks aboard an escort vessel provided by Arbiter XL Foreign. Maya used the time to absorb as much information as possible about galactic politics, technology, and cultural protocols. The human delegation, 6 representatives with backgrounds ranging from science to diplomacy, prepared for the most significant first contact in Earth's history. Nothing could have prepared them for the sanctuary. A massive artificial ring world orbiting a binary star system, it housed representatives from over 400 species, each with their own environmental needs and cultural practices. The human delegation was assigned a habitat designed to mimic Earth conditions, though the slightly stronger gravity and brighter ambient light revealed that their hosts' understanding of Earth-like had some limitations. Their formal introduction to the Council came on the 3rd day. In a vast chamber with sections adapted for various atmospheric requirements, representatives from dozens of worlds gathered to assess humanity's potential. "The species known as humans," Arbiter XL Foreign announced, "has successfully repelled a Vrax Dominion Warfleet without casualties on either side, using quantum manipulation technology developed independently. We welcome them as observers to the Stellar Council." The reaction was mixed. Murmurs of approval from some delegates, obvious skepticism from others. A tall, spindly being with glossy black exoskeleton rose from the hegemony section. The Vrax failure was an anomaly. It chittered, translator implants converting its speech. Humans remain an insignificant species from a backwater system. Their technology, while surprising, cannot stand against the full might of the hegemony. Maya stepped forward. We did not come seeking conflict. Earth desires peaceful exchange of knowledge and culture, but we will not accept subjugation by the Vrax or anyone else. Bold words, the insectoid delegate responded, for a species that has yet to travel beyond its own star. Sometimes, Maya countered, those who travel furthest lose sight of what truly matters. The hegemony's policy of technological suppression has stagnated progress for countless worlds. Perhaps it's time for a new approach. Over the following days, Maya's team met with delegates from dozens of worlds. Many were former targets of Vrax pacification, who had been forced into the hegemony as servant species, providing resources and labor while being denied access to advanced technology. The stories of subjugation and resistance resonated with humanity's own history. During a private meeting with representatives from 3 such worlds, Maya made a proposal. What if we shared our quantum defense technology with your worlds? The delegates were stunned. The hegemony would consider that an act of war, warned Keleth, an amphibious being from a water world called Trivis. Not if enough worlds implemented it simultaneously, Maya explained. The hegemony maintains control because they can target dissenters individually. But what if 20 worlds, or 50, suddenly develop the ability to neutralize Vrax technology? A liberation alliance, murmured Safa, a delegate with feathered skin and piercing yellow eyes. It would fundamentally alter the balance of power. Exactly, Maya nodded. Earth is willing to provide the technology and training. All we ask in return is mutual defense and open exchange of knowledge. Word of the initiative spread quickly through the council. More delegations approached the humans, both openly and in secret. Species that had suffered under hegemony rule for generations saw an opportunity for freedom. Those already aligned with the council recognized the strategic advantage. The hegemony representatives were not blind to these developments. 7 days into the Earth delegation's visit, they issued a formal demand. The humans must surrender their quantum technology to hegemony control or face immediate action. The council chamber erupted in debate when the ultimatum was presented. Maya stood calmly at the center of the storm. Earth rejects this demand, she stated when silence finally fell. Furthermore, we have established agreements with 27 worlds to share our defensive technology. The era of hegemony dominance through fear is ending. The chief hegemony delegate, a being named Drask whose metallic scales glinted under the chamber lights, rose to his impressive height. Then you have chosen war. Our combined fleets will. He was interrupted by the chamber doors opening. To everyone's shock, Sovereign Commander Vexelar entered, flanked by council security, but walking freely. Commander Vexelar has requested asylum with the council, Arbiter Exelforan announced. He brings valuable intelligence regarding hegemony military capabilities and strategies. Drask hissed in fury. Traitor! The Vrax have served the hegemony loyally for millennia. We have served, Vexelar corrected, but without honor. I have witnessed something on Earth I had forgotten existed. Victory without destruction. Strength tempered by restraint. His 4 eyes swept the chamber. The humans could have annihilated my fleet. Instead, they offered dialogue. It is time for a new path. The defection of the hegemony's most decorated military commander sent shockwaves through galactic politics. Combined with Earth's alliance building and technology sharing, it created a rapid shift in power. Within months, Vrax enforcers found themselves unable to project power in systems protected by what became known as the Earth Shield. 1 year after humanity's first contact with the Vrax, representatives from over 50 worlds gathered on the sanctuary to formalize the Liberation Alliance. Maya, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the galactic community, addressed the historic gathering. We came to the stars as defenders of our home, she said, looking out at the diverse assembly. We found a galaxy divided by fear and control. Today, we stand together not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals. Earth pledges its knowledge, its innovation, and, if necessary, its strength to maintain this new balance. As the ceremony concluded, Vexillar approached Maya. The former Vrax commander now served as a strategic advisor to the Alliance, his centuries of military experience proving invaluable. "When my fleet entered your system," he said quietly, "I believed we faced a primitive species destined for servitude. I never imagined that encounter would transform the power structure of half the galaxy." Maya smiled. "Sometimes the greatest power comes not from weapons or technology, but from choosing a different path." The Vrax thought they had the upper hand, until humanity showed up and changed the rules of the game. Around them, delegates from dozens of worlds mingled and conversed, species that had been enemies for generations now cautiously exploring cooperation. It wasn't perfect, and challenges remained, but a new era had begun, one where humanity's influence extended far beyond their blue planet, reshaping the stars themselves.